What's going on with olives in Europe?
Well, harvests have had a little trouble for 2 years now. So there typically is quite a bit of olive oil stored in places like Spain and Italy. But now with coming out of COVID and then 2 years of production problems, the taps are dry. So that's where the pricing increases are coming.
And it's agriculture, it's heat and drought and those challenges.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things going on in olive oil. Heat is probably the major driver of it, and olives love temperatures that go up and down. It's just that the heat the last 2 years has come at the wrong time. So while it was flowering, the olives just got roasted, and so that killed the fruit. We use the northern and southern hemisphere for our production. So somebody was asking earlier, I don't have to buy Italian olive oil. Absolutely not. Good or bad olive oil can be produced anywhere, almost anywhere in the world. So northern and southern hemisphere model for us, most importantly, is it's 6 months opposite of each other. So we get 2 harvests a year. We don't have to rely on Italy to have a good year.
Right. So where might surprise people that there's an olive harvest?
So right now we are phasing out the northern hemisphere now. Actually, our containers are starting to get a bit low on purpose. And Chile will be the first people through the door. Peru, South Africa, from time to time, they're able to meet that top 1 or 2%. And Australia. Australia is a wonderful place to get olive oil from.
Makes sense. Yeah. Now, for the more common stuff, what are you hearing from people in the industry about how much their prices are going up and may continue to go up?
It's likely to go up maybe a little and or stay steady. The olive growers and millers probably haven't made a decent amount of profit in the last 4 years. So even though the fruit right now is actually looking very good, there's not much talk about it because I think they like the prices a little bit higher. I've seen some 150 to 200% increases in olive oil prices in a grocery store. We're hearing about that on the restaurant side as well. It's getting very expensive for restaurants to use that commodity style olive oil.
Yeah, I was chatting with a restaurateur over the weekend, runs a Greek joint, and he was saying, that's a big driver. He uses a lot of olive oil in a week. So let's talk about the kind of range of what's out there, the nuance in the quality of the oil and the current increase in pricing. How does all that fit together?
So increase for pricing on our end, the top 1 or 2%, we've always paid a premium. So we have been able to enjoy, comparatively anyway, probably only about a 12 to 20% increase in pricing. So that's great for us. Whereas the bottom side of the market, it being so low and so in flux, the big bottlers, they've got to have a product, right? They've got to have it in a Walmart. They've got to have it in a Costco. And they start to exercise their muscle when buying olive oil and bidding up the price to make sure they can fill their giant jugs of kind of not so great olive oil.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a little bit unsophisticated, my palate, I'll say. And I shop for affordability a lot of the time. Like what's so darn good about, fancy olive oil?
One of the most forgotten things that people should be looking for in olive oil is freshness. So if you can spot a crush date on an olive oil that shows you something that it's less than a year old, you're probably in starting to make a better decision. If there's no crush date and just a best before, that's a bit of a problem. So most grocery store olive oil is anywhere from 2 to 7 years old by the time you buy it. So the fresher you can get it, the better it is for you.
Let's go out on this. I mean, you mentioned that some conditions and this harvest may be looking better. Like what's the situation in the Mediterranean now, and what needs to happen to sort of for the average consumer have the price thing rectify itself?
I would suspect the prices should come down a little bit. Like I say, they are enjoying some higher pricing and they haven't made money in years. But countries like Spain can produce, if their fruit is good, 3 times what the world needs. So and Spain is looking pretty good right now. The early indications are looking very good. So if Spain has a bit of a break just after flowering and the olives set, I would say that the actual quantity available in the world should be much better than we are today.
Okay. Fun to talk to you about this. Really interesting. Thanks for your time, Gord.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, likewise.